Welcome one and all to this second episode of Season 3 of D&D, which stands for Daddy and Daughter. I am Daddy.
And I'm Daughter. And my name is Zoe.
And my name is Mike. And today we are going to keep on working on our adventure game. Let's see where we left off. So I think we've got control of our little character, and we can also move a little sword, and when we stop moving it stands still. And we move the character with the left stick, and we move the sword with the right stick. And that's it. Seems to be working fairly well to me. What we're gonna do now is we are going to design our map. Now, to do that, we're actually gonna do things a bit weird. You'll see. We're gonna create a new folder. You can call this one textures. And hit the Windows key, type Gimp. There it is. Hit enter. Okay. And click on File, New. And for now, type 16, tab 16. No, the number. Yeah, and then enter. Okay. Now zoom in with control. Okay, now change to pencil. And drag down the size to 1.
Okay.
Now, so actually select the bucket first. Yeah, and splash it. Now add a new layer. Sure, hit enter for now. We'll rename it in a moment. Okay, and you can call this one, actually, rename this layer to ground right away. So double click it. Or maybe grass. Let's go to grass. Hit enter. So let's pick a green color from the color picker.
Where's the color picker?
It's on the color box, where the black box is. The black color. On the left.
Oh, yeah, this.
Yeah, select a green. Select perfect green, which is the fourth option there. Yeah, that's good. Hit OK. This one, you see, it's 0 on red, 255 on green, and 0 on blue. That means pure green, right? Hit OK. All right, now click on the pencil and draw some box in the middle somewhere. A little box.
Done.
Yeah, no, a bit more than that. Just draw on a rectangle. Yeah, a bit more than that still. There, that'll do. Okay, now hit Control S. And now wait, we're gonna go to Game Development, Zoe Projects, Adventure, Assets, Textures, New Folder. Call this one Gimp. Hit enter. Name this one to map. Hit enter. Okay, now hit Control Shift E.
Export.
And we're gonna export it as a PNG, also mapped. Hit export. Okay, so now we're gonna have 2 files inside here. And now that I think about it, this one actually we want to put it in textures. This will be our editing file, and this will be our map file. Now we need to make a few changes here. So we're gonna leave it on default 2, that's fine. Color texture is fine. Alpha source, there is no alpha in this. Read write enabled, this needs to be on if we're gonna be able to read the individual pixels, because that's what we're gonna do. We don't need maps. Wrap mode repeat, that's fine. Filter mode, no filter. And compression, no compression. Apply. And now this is exactly identical to what we want. Okay, so our world here doesn't have anything. We're gonna create a new script, which we're gonna call map.
Okay. Map.
Let's drag map to the world. Okay, we need to wait for it to compile. Okay, map goes to world. Alright, here it is.
Mhm.
Now let's open it.
Why did it get so big?
Hmm?
Why did it get big and yellow?
Because it's what you've actually selected. Okay, you can delete all of this and press delete here. Alright, we're good. Now, first of all, we're gonna need the map for the world. So we're gonna call this one private, serialized field first. Now private. And a texture 2D. It's already there. And space, call this one world map. Well, world texture. Call it a texture. Semicolon. Save. Okay, now let's create a start function. So void start.
Well, we deleted it.
Well, you know how it is. There, hit tab. Okay, remove the word private. It's redundant. Bless you. Remove the word private. Yeah, one more delete. There we go. Okay. Now, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to save. We're gonna have to create an array of colors. So here you go, color, square brackets. Yeah, close it. And space. Call it pixels. I don't know. Pixels. It's not gonna be that clear. Let's call it colors. I guess. Just colors. There you go. Equals. And it's gonna be world texture dot get pixels. It's already there. Hit tab. Open close round semicolon. So what this does is it takes every single pixel in a picture and takes its color and stores it in the array that we put here. And it goes in the following order: bottom, left, x, 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 then up, x, 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 then up, and so on. And it continues like this. All right. So that way, we're gonna have all of that information stored.
Okay.
Now, let's say, for example, we want to put walls around our little room here, okay? So let's pick a color for walls. It doesn't matter which color it's going to be, but let's go with cyan. Okay, so this is perfect cyan. I'm going to put walls, it's kind of hard to see. This is going to be uncomfortable. So let's pick a color that we can see better. Gray. This is, I think, 60% gray. Let's check. So 60% is 0.6. Times 255, 153. Yes, 60% gray. Okay, we need to remember 60%. It'll be useful for later. So these will be our walls. That means we can exit from here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's pick the green again. Click it there, and just whatever. So we're gonna have a small area to explore. Okay, save. Control Shift E again because we've moved the file. Next time we can do Control E. Okay, now it's being replaced, and back to here we go. And you'll see that now map should have the texture. We are gonna feed it this texture over here. Okay, now since we're here, let's take a look at our world. So we got a ground, which has all of this stuff. Now we do not need a collider. We do not need a mesh renderer. We do not need a plane. We're going to remove everything, so it's just a container. For the walls, there's a cube. Okay, now let's store this cube, call it wall, and let's store it as a prefab. So create a folder, call it prefabs, and let's drag the wall into the prefabs for now. Okay, now we can delete it from here. So we got the walls and we got the ground. These are both containers. Now our ground is also going to have to be somewhat like this. So for now it's going to be simple, but later we're going to add some assets from Magic of Voxels and things. So let's create another folder here and let's call this one map. And let's drag the wall into the map. So Now we're gonna have, these are our walls. Now duplicate this one and rename this one to ground. Okay, that sounds good. Now, we have our colors here stored and we're gonna do something with them, but we can't do much yet. What we first need to do is we need to obtain the colors for every object we want. Okay, so let's put another serialized field here. It's fine, hit tab, close it, private, color, make it a list of colors. So list of type, close of type.
The list won't work, we don't have the thing, right?
Yes, we do. We have collection generic.
Oh.
They've added it in recent ones. So call this one list underscore. And it's going to be map colors.
No, is the like
Lower,
this?
sure. Map colors.
Because this one's already lowercase.
Semicolon.
So.
Yeah. Save. Okay, so we're going to have a list of map colors. Now, which colors we've got? Have we got? We got 0 and so on, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, we got empty. There we go. Anyway, so we got three colors at this time. Number one is the pure black, but that one I don't know that we necessarily need to even keep track of. Yeah, because we won't be putting anything there. So let's ignore this one. Let's put just 2. So this one is perfect green, right? So I dragged green to 1%. Now you can change this between RGB 0 to 1%, excuse me, 0 to 100%, or 0 to 255. Maybe more comfortable to have that, right?
Okay.
In this case, because we want that gray. And it was 153, 153, 153. Okay? It's important that we have exactly those numbers. Okay?
Okay.
There's the color. Okay, and now we can probably go back to RGB or whatever. I'd much prefer percentages, but Gimp doesn't do them. Okay, so here we go. We've got these two colors. These are our ground and our whatever, our thing. So the ground, let's check the prefab. Now, the way it works for prefabs is a bit different now in the new versions of Unity. There's an open prefab button. So we're going to click there. And this opens like another separate scene just with the prefab. And you can change all sorts of stuff in it, and it's quite good this way. I mean, it's got some things I don't particularly like, but this is not too bad. All right, so first of all, this is the ground prefab, right? Now, does the ground need to be a cube?
No.
No, it needs to be a small plane or a quad, right? So let's change the cube to a quad. Now, you'll see immediately that the quad is pointing in a wrong direction. That means that what we want is we want to change these objects from having all of this stuff to having the graphics inside them, right? So let's duplicate this object and it feeds itself. Rename this one to model without the W and with an L. Okay, hit enter. Right, so quad and mesh, that's good, but no box collider and no rigid body. In fact, we're gonna put no rigid body and no box collider on this one either. I mean, we may change our mind later, but this one also doesn't need the graphics. This is just the parent, the container, right? And this one, now we can rotate it. Which axis do we need to rotate it? Needs to point up.
Z. The Z.
The Z? Alright.
The Z. The Z.
No.
Oh, that was sideways. It pointed here.
You're rotating it around this axis. So no.
I thought that it
Which
would go
axis do you
down.
need to rotate again?
The X.
Like that. So 90 positive. And now we need to push it down as well, because it's in the middle. It's not at the bottom, right? So it should be negative 0.5. There. Now it's on the mat, on the floor, right? Which is exactly where we want it to be. And then when you do your magical voxel project for this, it's going to be a very flat, low structure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, or it may even have a cube bed underneath. We'll worry about that later. So at any rate, there's our little thingy, which is going to be grass. Now it also has a default material. That's not good. So let's go to our materials. We've got our grass material. Let's give grass material to the model. Okay, so now the model has grass. It doesn't matter that it's this simple. It's not relevant. Okay, good. So we got the grass. We got it in the right place. Awesome. It's already done. We can click on this little arrow and the prefab is closed. Now let's go back to our map prefabs again and open the wall prefab. Now the wall prefab is already pretty good, but again, we want to separate graphics from stuff. So hit Control D to duplicate. Rename this one to model. Hit enter. Okay. Now the model will not need collider and rigid body. This one will need collider and rigid body, but will not need graphics. Okay, so we need a material. Duplicate the grass material. Rename it wall.
Let's make it some kind of brown.
Okay, let's make it a dark, not a dark brown, a very bright brown. Some kind of like brick. I don't know. Something like this. It doesn't matter because later your art is going to replace all of this, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to drag the material is closed. There. Okay, here we go. Here's the wall. Okay. And it's everything else is fine. It's kinematic, so it will move.
But it's so small.
What do you mean so small? It's one block.
Yeah, but it's only a block. Shouldn't it like be along the sides?
But you'll see what will happen. Each pixel would spawn one of these blocks. Okay, so that's done. We've got both of our prefabs that we need. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna say we're gonna go here, and we got our list of map color that's already been mapped. We could have a enum that also goes in that order. So let's make an enum here. Make a public enum and call it map tiles. Without shift if you have caps. No, if you have caps, then you need to, map tiles, or tile, sorry, remove the yes. Doesn't make any sense that it would be plural. No, this S. Okay, remove caps lock, open squiggle, hit enter twice, close it. Okay, so we're gonna have a none equals -1. That's my standard. Now, comma, enter, and the first one's going to be grass, comma, enter, wall. Save. Okay, so these are going to be mapped to here. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go through all of these colors. So let's create a for loop. So hit for. Now I'm going to teach you a trick. For.
Oh yeah, cookies trick.
Tab,
right?
tab. And now all we need to do is give it a length. So copy these colors, paste, dot length. Hit tab, save. Okay, so now we're going through the list of all of the colors, and remember the order in which it does it, okay? We're gonna have to do a little bit of math to figure out where they belong.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start at 0, 0. And then we're gonna decide what to do.
Okay.
So, at this time, your picture has a certain width and a certain height.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, we know it's 16 by 16. But what if we change the size and we make it larger? Right? We don't want to have to calculate that. Now, the texture, the world texture, contains that information. World texture.width. Okay? So, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out where we put all of those tiles. We should probably also keep a reference of all of the tiles. Now, the tiles don't have a script of their own, so let's create a script for the tiles. Okay, now that script is going to be for now completely empty, but that's okay. Call this one map tile. Hit enter. Okay, now let's wait for it to compile down here. Done. Open.
Delete.
Done. Save. Alright, so now who needs the tile? All of our prefabs. Now this is one thing I don't like about the new prefabs. If I click here, I can drag the tile script down here. I need to open the prefab, add, map tile. And then I need to do it the same with the wall. I can't do it at the same time. It's really quite annoying, in my opinion. Okay, so now we got map tile.
I don't think you dragged it, sorry, to the top.
I did. I put it there.
Oh, for the ground.
The ground doesn't have anything other than that script.
Oh.
So, now back to map. We are going to create a 2-dimensional array. So go private for now. Map tile. That's the new script we just created.
Yeah.
Array, square bracket, comma, no. Array, comma, close array. The comma goes here.
The sack thing.
The sack? What do you mean?
Like, you have the array and then you have the array inside it, right? If you put the comma.
Well, yes. You have basically a 2-dimensional array. That means it's like a matrix. There's an X and then there's a Y. And you can actually make them infinite dimensional, which is pretty crazy. So we got a map tile and go new. No, what am I doing? Sorry. Call it map tiles. Map tiles. Semicolon. Save. Now remember, arrays need to be initialized. So copy this one, paste it here, go equals, new, tab, square bracket. Now it's gonna be width by height. So world texture.
Dot width.
Dot width. Comma. World texture dot width dot height. Yep. Close square bracket. Semicolon. Save. All right. So these now exist. They're just completely empty. All right. Okay, now let me think. So when we're gonna get, let's open Excel to help us out, because we need to figure out the math here.
Opening everything.
That's fine. So here what you have is a single dimensional array that will be converted into a 2-dimensional array. So your original picture was a 16 by 16, so I don't care too much right now to be exact, right? But it was something like that, and there is a green thing about like that, right? And then on the outside you have gray about like that, right? Yeah. It's more or less what we did. It's not exact, but it doesn't matter at the moment. So the point
then
is,
we had some grass up here.
You see, it goes like this. If I say it goes 0, 1, 2, etc. Okay, so you see I've made it too small, but it doesn't matter. Then it would be 12, 13, etc. And it would keep on going up like that. That's how the numbers work. Okay, now we need to get this to be 0, 0. Well, 0, 0, right? And this next one is going to be 0. Well, not 0 actually. This one's going to be 1 on the X, right? And 0 on the Y.
Yeah.
Right? And the next one is going to be 2 on the X and 0 on the Y, and so on. That will be this, you see?
Yeah.
Right? And so on and so forth. That means that in this particular case, because the width is 11, we need to go for, 12. We need to go from 0 to 11 and then start going up with the Y's. And then repeat the cycle. All right? So it would be Y times width.
Okay.
Plus X. Let's see if that would work.
So, Y?
Yeah, Y times width plus X. So the width currently is 12, right? The Y is this. So it would be equals Y times width, so the amount of X's,
yeah,
right, plus X. That gives us 0. Okay? Now, if you paste this all here, well, you're going to get some errors because this one is now pointing in the wrong direction. Okay? Now, the reason why that's happening is because I have not locked this one. So let's lock it in place. Okay? And now you'll see if I paste this, it'll be all the way to 11 and then too many. Okay, sounds good. Now, suppose that this one were to be changed to 1. So we went to the next row. See, it's now at 12?
Yeah.
So we are now here. That's how it would work. So our formula is correct. Let's repeat the formula. It's whatever the y is multiplied by the quantity of x's plus the x. Okay? So, in this case, we would say, let's change this loop quite a bit. So type 4, hit tab twice. Now press X and then hit enter. Okay, now it's changed all of the i's to x's. Do you see that? That's another little trick. Now do another 4, hit tab twice, type Y and then hit enter. Okay, so for the x, it's going to be world texture.width. So copy this, paste it here. And the other one's going to be
world texture.height. Sorry.
Undo, copy, paste, save. Okay, so we're going x to y, brr, all the way up. Okay, that's good. And here we're going to say, we're going to check, first of all, if we're going to get the index of this color. Right? So let's create an int on the fly. Call it int index. Nothing else. Semicolon.
So only work on this script.
Semicolon. Save. So copy this index, paste it here, equals. Now we need our formula. So we said y times the amount of x's, which is what?
World texture.width?
Yes. World texture.width.
Plus
x. That's it. X. Semicolon. Save. Right, now we're going to check the color with this index. So we're going to copy and we're going to say if open round, paste, square bracket index, close square bracket. I forgot something. We need to check if it's contained in our list. So copy this list, paste it, then go dot contains. There it is. Open round bracket, close it here, close it again, open a squiggle, hit enter twice, close it.
Not thrice.
Thrice, save. Okay, so if this color exists in the list, we're going to do something with it, right? We're going to say map tiles, square bracket, x comma y, close square bracket, equals, instantiate. We're missing something. We're missing our game object templates. Da, 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 da. Okay, so right here, go serialize field, close the square bracket, private, game object. So because this is a list, sure, make it into an array, who cares? And now go map tile templates. Map tile templates. Templates. Semicolon. Save. Okay. Instantiate. And now we need to know which template to instantiate. And which template should we instantiate?
The first one? No, index.
Well, no, because we do not know. We do not know which one of the list map colors this is.
So then.
So we're gonna, but we can get it. So copy this, paste it here, open square, and type list underscore map colors. That's a new thing for you. Map colors dot index of open round colors index. Copy, paste, close. So what close square bracket. Ooh, no, wait a moment. Close square bracket. So what this does is it gives us it goes to the list of the colors. Right. We already know that the list contains the color we're looking at. Right. Right. So for the black, for example, it's going to ignore it. The list doesn't have black, but green it won't ignore. So it finds the first green, for example, or the first one it'll find, it'll be gray in this order, right? So it'll be this one, okay? And it'll go, okay, I found something that I have in the list. So it'll go in here. And then it's gonna say instantiate, and then it's gonna get the index of that gray. What's the index of that gray? One.
Oh.
So it'll get the number 1, which then, if we put the wall on our second map tile template, on 1, element 1, it means we can spawn that one, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Okay?
Okay.
Now, where are we gonna spawn it? Well, that's fairly easy. We're gonna spawn it at X and Y. So we're gonna say new. No, new, not mu. New.
New.
Vector 2. No. No. Wait, we're vector 3. We need a vector 3. We are in 3D space. Open round. So we need an X. That'll be our X. So just type X. That's it. But we want it to cast as a float. So cast it as a float.
So that means I open a blank float.
Float. Close round X, comma.
comma.
Now, do we have anything for the Y?
We have just Y.
But do we have anything for the Y?
No.
That's right. Everything's gonna be flat, so Y is gonna be 0. So 0F. And then our Y, where does it go instead?
You just said the Y. We just did
Sure,
the Y.
but the Y of the 2-dimensional array.
Okay.
Here you got an X and a Y, right? X, Y. So the Y in 3D space, oh dear. The Y in 3D space is gonna be 0. Right? But which other axis then we need to manipulate?
Z.
Z. So that's the Z axis over here, but we're gonna use the Y of this 2D. So in 2D we have only X and Y, there's no Z. But in 3D, right, we have the Y. But we'll ignore the Y. Y is up and down. We don't want to change that, okay? But Z is our Y if the 2D we're looking for above. See?
Yeah.
Z. All right, so here you're going to put float. Again, cast it as a float. And then Y. Flossa. Floss. Float. Close round. Y. Close round again. Comma. Now, we could do a random rotation, but let's leave it as quaternion.identity for now. So quaternion.identity. And we're gonna do another thing. We're gonna parent.
We're already out of the thing.
Yeah, well, we'll sort that out in a moment. Identity, comma. Now we need a parent. We're gonna make it a child of a parent immediately. Now the problem is we don't have our containers.
Oh.
Right? So let's do another serialized field. Close it. Private transform array. Transform array. Map containers. Map containers. Huh? Containers semicolon. Save. Okay, so we're gonna go to map containers of the same index. Now, see what's annoying? We need to recalculate the same index. That's silly. So let's store that too. So go int color index. Semicolon. Okay. Copy color index. Paste it here. No, my bad. Undo. Undo again. Paste it here. Copy this. Equals. Paste. Close. A semicolon, I mean. Copy color index again. Paste it here. All right. And now here you're gonna say map containers, square bracket. Paste. Close square bracket. Close round bracket. We're not done yet. Dot. Get component. Open close of type. Well, not close it yet, my bad. Map tile. The second one. And close of type. Open close round.
And now we're done.
No, we're not, because instead of closing that, you've put a dot. Now open, close, round, semicolon.
Now we're done.
Save. Okay, now it's happy, but obviously this is unreadable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit enter over here, hit enter over here, hit enter over here. We're separating all of the individual elements of the instantiation. Save. Now it's much more readable. This is what you do when you instantiate. These are the pieces of the instantiations. Instantiation. Okay, so now we've got our map tile. Okay, now what we can do with that map tile is we can also rename it. And I think we should. So copy this, paste, dot, transform, dot, name, equals. Okay, so the names of these will be for our, so let's use our containers. I don't know that I like that, but sure. Let's use our map containers. So go map containers, square bracket, color index. No, color index. It's a variable you created. Okay, close square bracket, dot name, plus, quote, underscore, shift minus, yeah, close the underscore, plus, x dot toString, open close round, plus,
so much plus,
quote, colon, shift semicolon, close quote, plus, y dot toString.
and
toString. Open close round, semicolon. Save. So what does this mean? He'll give it the name ground, underscore, whatever the x is, colon, whatever the y is. So it'll be very easy to find these even in our inspector. Okay, so let's rename this container from walls to wall. Like that. Save. We're cheating a little, it's a bit of a hack, but it'll do. Okay. Okay, so this is the instantiation being done. Everything should be fine. Should be okay. Now, let's go to our world and check the map tile templates. So we've got two of them. One is the ground. We need to go in the same order as the colors. One is the wall. Very important, that order. Map containers, two of them again. The first one is the ground. The second one is the wall. Now, if we hit play, let's see. Look, our map has been created.
Wow. Except our person isn't on it.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to worry about that in a second, right? So let's also see where it's being created, right? So if we take a look at the wall, I'm going to teach you a new secret as well. You see, we selected the model.
Yeah.
Right? That's annoying. When I click on things, I don't want to pick the model. I want to pick the thing, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So let's change that. And you can do a nifty little trick in Unity called selection base. So map tile is on the root of our object, right? So our object, our map tiles have this script, all of them. So here you can type selection base. There it is. Hit tab, close the square bracket, save. So what this does is it makes it so that Unity prioritizes whoever the parent of selection base is. And you see now I selected the object, not the model. I need to click it again to pick the model. I like that much better. Okay, so we got our little grass. The little character is over there.
Now we need to instantiate in the
Okay,
right
there's
place,
another
right?
problem as well.
Huh?
Everything is too far down by 0.5.
Ew.
Yeah. Now the reason why that is very simple. Our prefabs.
Down by 0.5.
Yeah. Right. So this prefab is up 0.5, which will be at 0, I believe, anyway. But the model is not as the negative 0.5. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I'm a bit confused by this. Have I made a mistake? Okay, so what position is this? See the y is 0?
Yeah.
So what's the position of the player? Position of the player is in y 0, but I think his model, the structure, is at 0.5. Okay, so the player is at y 0, and the world is at y 0, with the ground being at y 0, and this ground being at y 0. What's the issue? Because 0 is here. Well, I think I know. Alright, so back to our prefab. Open the prefab. The model is at negative 0.5. Leave it at 0. Now open the wall prefab. This one has a model at 0.5. Wrong. The model needs to be at 1. Needs to be elevated from ground. Well, actually, my bad. The wall itself is going to be at 0. These are all silly. We don't need these. But the model needs to be at +1. Okay. At least I think so. Or plus 0.5. Let's try 1. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If I got it wrong, I got it wrong, and we'll check it again. Yeah, I got it wrong. It's too high now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a potato. Obviously, it needs to be higher by half. And there we go, fixed. All right, so that's good. Now we've got our little map prepared. Now we're gonna have to spawn the player
in the map.
Right. Now what we're going to decide is an arbitrary starting position for the player. Okay, so because this is the very first position ever, we got two options. Option A, or option 1, is we store a position directly on our picture, right? So we could just pick one of these boxes and put it there. Okay. Now that could be a good idea, but the problem with all of these boxes is that we need to know what they are. But it could be fine, right? So say, for example, if we die, right, where do we respawn? It should be one of these places, right? These save points. So perhaps our save points need to have a specific look, like maybe some kind of like ring structure that looks like a fairy ring.
Maybe.
Right?
So, why a fairy ring?
I don't know. It's a fairy world. Anyway, so let's add the grass all around, and then we'll check if the game works. But let's give it a spawn point. Okay, so this will be any spawn point will have this color, and we'll have many spawn points, and then we're going to need to remember sort of which spawn point is which to sort of store that position. Okay. In the save file. Start with, say, red.
Sure.
Red sounds like it would belong to an enemy.
Yeah, right.
What should be a spawn point?
Maybe that sign from earlier?
Cyan. Whoops. Certainly not 2 though. Okay, so 1 spawn point. Let's put it in here. Okay. Cool. This means save. So hit Control S and then immediately Control E, because we're already exporting to the right file. Okay. So now you'll see. You'll see in a second that this texture now has a sign. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got a sign thing in it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
It's fine. It's too small. That's okay. Right, so it's got a cyan thing in it. Okay, awesome. Now, what do we need to do? We need to add all of this information here, right? So we got a third color. We know it's cyan. Cyan is no red, perfect green, perfect blue. That's cyan, right? We don't have an extra object, and we don't have an extra container.
Then why do you add another one?
Huh? I will now.
Oh.
We need to create it. So, first of all, we need a container. So create empty and rename this one to spawn point. Just spawn point, I guess, my bad. Alright, so now the world has a container for this. Now we need a... Ooh, my bad, I put it in the wrong place. Fortunately, the icon told me. Right? Now we need a new prefab in the map for the spawn point. So duplicate ground. And rename this one spawn point. Yeah, though this one, technically speaking, I think it will require to have a ground on it too, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, so spawn point, and let's basically leave it as it is. Let's have a new material, duplicate grass. Rename it spawn point. Hit enter. Okay, let's color it that cyan, just cause reasons. Now the spawn point, open the prefab. Whoops, go in the model and change grass to spawn point. There it is. Okay, looks like water.
Yeah.
We'll use blue for water or whatever.
We'll probably use a darker blue for water.
It's fine, we can use every color in the world, so doesn't matter. Alright, so the spawn point is now ready. Now all we need to do is give it to it. Plop. There it is. It's got the spawn point, and you'll see that now, as soon as I hit play, it'll immediately have the spawn point in the correct spot.
Yeah, and now we just need
Pretty
to
cool,
get the
to
character.
edit. Oh, I've made a mistake. Look at the colliders.
Hi, colliders.
Too low. Right? Let's go to the wall, open the prefab, drag this collider up by 0.5. Hit play right away, and immediately go check. Oh, bums.
Forgot
maybe,
to save.
Maybe it didn't save. Yeah, could be that. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Now the colliders are up. Okay. Sounds good. Now spawn the player over there. Now, in order to
We're
know,
in map tile.
in order to know which spawn point to spawn at, right?
Excuse me.
Yeah. What's up?
We need that enum. Don't we need to add the spawn
yeah.
point?
Yeah, that's a good point. If we ever need it for later. So go spawn point. Save. Alright. So now our game needs to know things about where to spawn, right? So we might as well construct that for later. We're gonna build our singleton game manager. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Game manager, capital G. Hit enter. Okay. Yeah, now it's going to, whoops, open the wrong one. There. Just for now, delete everything as usual, save. Okay, now the game manager needs its own object. Alright, so right here, create empty, reset it, and rename it to game manager. Capital N. Hit enter, drag the game manager on it, open it. Okay, so you should know what to do to turn it into a singleton.
Wait, you like this up here. So.
Yeah, so what are you gonna call? What are you gonna do now?
Public static.
Static, yeah. Because you can rely on it never going away. Game manager.
Manager. Script.
Yeah, semicolon. And then you need an awake function. Here.
Oh.
You need void first. Awake. That's right. Remove the word private. Remove one extra space. Okay, save. And you should know what to do.
And now script equals this.
Mm-hmm.
This.
Semicolon. Save. Okay, so now we got this. Now the first thing we need to do is we're gonna have to save again. We're gonna save the player preferences. Okay, now you've never done this, you've never done a saving system before.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna have a saving system that is going to store the information about where we spawn.
Okay.
Okay, so let me think this through. So create a public void. Void. Okay. Go save profile. Capital S. It's a method. Save profile. Open close round semicolon. Open squiggle. Close. Save.
You said open close around semicolon.
Oh, my bad. Save. and then public void load profile. All broken, all broken. Try again.
What's it called?
Load profile. Save. And now you also want public void load default profile. Capital L. Save. Okay, so for now we're gonna make it really simple, but we're gonna need a few things. So we're gonna need a class inside our player. So we're gonna create a subclass. Again, another thing you've never done. Hit Control MO. So you can create a class that's a child of another class. So this class is a player, right? And here we can create a public class. No, lowercase c. That's okay. Hit tab. Class. And call this one character attributes.
Capital?
Yep. Character attributes. Attributes. 2 T's. Open a squiggle. Hit enter twice. Close it. Save. So one attribute of the character will be max HP. So that's an int. Right? So public int max HP. Semicolon. Save. Now we're just gonna have that one for now, nothing more. But we're also gonna have the spawn point location or something like that, right? So go public vector to int. So what is a vector to int?
What is it?
It's like a vector 2, but it doesn't use floats.
Oh.
It's got only 2. Because our map is made of squares.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry about it. Right, so public vector to int and call this one spawn chords. Spawn chords, capital C. Oh. Not chords. Coords.
Oh.
Coordinates.
Cords like cables
Save.
like that.
Now one more thing we're gonna do here is system dot.
Capital.
Yeah, system. There it is.
System.
Dot. Serializable. This will make it displayable in the save in the inspector when it normally wouldn't be. Okay, so this class is gonna have these things, and we need to store these properties. Okay. Now I don't necessarily think. You know what? Cut this. Let's move. Save. Let's move these here. Paste. So it's going to be a child of game manager. Save. Okay. So another thing we're going to do here is we're going to say public character attribute. Yeah, space. Player attributes. You can't tab a name when you invent it, right?
Yeah.
It will give you a predefined answer, which isn't necessarily what you want. Semicolon. Save. Okay, so character attributes, player attributes, and let's also create a serialized field. Close square bracket. Private with a P. Private. We got 5 more minutes. Private character attributes. Player default attributes. UTES. Semicolon. Save. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Now you'll see your game manager is going to have a bunch of new stuff. It's got the player default attributes, which you can open. It's got max HP, which is 3. We're going to start with 3 HP. And the spawn coordinates. Now this one we simply need to know, which we don't know. We don't know at the moment. So let's hit play. Let's immediately hit pause. Take a look at the coordinates of this one. 7, 8. Okay, so the coordinates will be for the initial spawn point in the default settings, 7, hit tab, 8. Okay, so we got 7 and 8. Okay, awesome. Now we know where to spawn the play, right? And we're gonna say hit void start here. Open close round. No, it's already there. It's already there. It's already there. Remove the word private. One more. Okay, save. So when we start, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try and load the profile. Copy, paste, semicolon. Now we need to check if the player preferences have our information. So you're gonna say if open round player prefs 3 down tab dot. Now I think it's get, yeah, has key. That's the one you want. Has key, open round, quote. Now the string for the key. What do we want? We want to know if we have, let's call it player HP. So type player HP. Close the quote. Close the round bracket. Open the squiggle. Oh, my bad. Another close round bracket. So this just checks if this exists. Close the round bracket. Open the squiggle. Enter twice. Close it. Save. Okay. So if we have HP, what are we gonna do? We're gonna assign to our player attributes the HP we have saved. So go player attributes dot HP, max HP. Yeah, actually that's kind of a lie, but that's okay. Yeah, that's rubbish, but we'll worry about it later. Equals player prefs, copy, paste, get int, open round, quote, player HP, copy, paste, close round, semicolon. Okay, so we're gonna give these HP from the save file. Okay, obviously we're gonna also have to save this. Now, the problem is if any of these tests fails, we need to go to load default profile.
Okay.
Okay, so hit else, open squiggle, hit enter twice, close, save, copy, paste, open close round, semicolon, save. Now copy all of this, paste it here, save. So has key, it's going to be player spawn X, capital S, upon S, N, capital X. Copy this, paste it here, spawn whatever. There it is, spawn chords, the dot X. Save. Okay. Copy this entire thing, paste it here, capital Y, lowercase y, capital Y. Save. Okay, so it will load the default profile. Now we need to deal with the default profile. Okay, so to do that, we're gonna just change the player attributes immediately. So go copy player attribute, paste. Equals, let's try this. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but we'll try it. Copy player default attributes, paste it here, semicolon. Is this gonna work? Save. I hope it's gonna work. Now, and then copy save profile, paste it, open close round, semicolon. Now one more thing we want to do is after we load the default profile, we want to return. So go return here, semicolon. Save, save, copy, paste, paste. Remember what return does?
It stops everything.
That's right. So we don't go and check other things. If we notice we're missing pieces of information, we're immediately quitting. Okay? So save profile right here. And now let's check save profile. Save profile is fairly easy. We're going to have to store all of these. So we're going to say player prefs dot there dot set, I think. Yeah. Set int open round quote copy player HP, paste it, close quote, comma, space, player attributes dot HP. Max HP, that's the one. Close round, semicolon, save. Okay, now copy all of this, paste again, copy player spawn X, paste, paste, paste again, replace with Y, and this one is going to be spawn chords dot X. Spawn chords dot Y. Save. Alright, so now we can save whenever we want to and load whenever we start. Now when we start, we load the profile, okay? And then we need to move the player to that position. But to do that, we need to have a reference to the player. Okay, so let's... well, we may have menus and all sorts of stuff. Perhaps we should instantiate the player instead.
Maybe.
Okay, so for now, create a private player semicolon. And right after load profile, we're going to say player equals, we're missing a player template. So let's serialize field, private, game object, I object, oops. Private game object, player template. Template, capital T. Thermoplate. Template. Semicolon. Right, so copy player template. Instantiate. Open round. It's already there, so it's been there for a month. Open round. Paste. Comma. Right, now where does it go? Well, it goes to the player spawn. That's where it goes. Okay, so we have that stored in our player attributes. So you're going to say new vector3. Now remember, x becomes z, y becomes, x becomes x, y becomes z. Open round. So for the x, it's going to be player attributes dot spawn chords dot x. Dot spawn chords dot x. Now this needs to be cast as a float. So open round, float, close round. The y is
0.
And then you can copy all of this, paste it here, change this to y. Close the round, comma, quaternion dot identity. Dot identity. Close the round. Dot get component. Open squiggler. No, that one, yeah. Player.
Platter.
That's the first one, yeah. Close of type. Open close round. Semicolon. Save.
And now we're out of the screen again.
Now we're allowed to what?
Now we're out of the screen again.
We'll fix it in a jiffy. Save. Okay, so all of this should now work, except we already have a player on the scene. That won't do. So we're gonna turn this player into a prefab.
So now we can spawn and everything?
Plop. We're gonna delete the prefab. And game manager.
Shouldn't we prefab it?
What?
Shouldn't we put in the prefabs?
It's already here.
The game manager.
No, the game manager doesn't need to be prefab.
Because we never put it away.
That's right. Now player attributes is here. The default attributes are ready. All right, so let's keep these open so we can test them. I'm going to not maximize and play. Okay, now we're going to hit play. If everything went correctly, our player should spawn. Boink. Player did spawn there. Unassigned reference exception. Late update transfer. Aha, it's trying to follow the player. Well, only if the problem is the target doesn't exist. So this is fairly easy. We're going to remove this target. Save. And instead of target opposition, we're going to say game manager.
Dot script.
Dot script. Dot player. Dot transform. So it's not happy because player is private. Public. Remove the word attributes. Yeah, remove it.
And that period.
Dot transform. Dot position. Save. Now, this is still insufficient because if the player doesn't exist, what will the camera do? Well, for now, nothing. So copy all of this. Say if open round paste is not null. Is not.
How do you do that? Like this?
Like that, yeah. But
like
this.
that.
Null. So if the player does exist, close the round, open the squiggle, and close the squiggle. Save. Now the camera will not crash. The camera script will not crash because it will go. There's no player. I'll just not do anything. Oh wait. What are you unhappy with, sir? Yeah.
Sir.
Huh?
Huh? How do we do wrong?
Oh, save.
Oh.
Makes sense. Okay, now it should be happy. And now our little Zelda character is stuck in the wall. All of the walls. He can't move between the walls. He can squeeze right out. It's quite uncomfortable. But that's okay.
At least it fits.
Yep. And there's this little house. Or whatever this.
That's his house where he starts like Link in Wind Waker.
Okay. And you can come out of this.
Actually, do you spawn in the house? I don't think you do.
Yeah, you spawn on this. So if you stop.
No, I'm talking about Wind Waker.
It doesn't matter, whatever. We can spawn wherever we want to. And it's here, and it's saved as well, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, our ground carries on, but now you can see we have a map editor, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's got basic things. And next time, we're going to make it so that the spawn points actually work and get saved. They already get saved. It's just that there's only one, right? We need, and at the moment, it doesn't do anything, right?
And then we're going to have to make save points. Wait, they didn't have save points.
Well, we will, because we're cool. So you just walk on them and they save. Or whatever. And then we can make, I don't know, all sorts of stuff.
Because the Wind Waker has, like, you can save at any time.
Yeah, I know. But we are going to make a more old school Zelda.
Okay.
So, what was I going to do? Say, now, for next time, you should start creating some assets in Magic of Voxel. Now, Zoe will do the Magic of Voxel assets on her own, right? She doesn't need me or anything, right? So, I don't care what scale you pick, but you need to pick a scale and stick to it, okay? Now, you need to remember your character is 1 by 1 by 1, okay? Now, this doesn't mean that in Magic of Voxel you have one voxel. Okay, you make it whatever you want, say 64 by 64 by 64. I don't know, you pick it. But you need to stick to that number always. And then have that reticle. So when you're going to make, for example, the wall, it's going to be 64 by 64 by 64. And when you're going to make the ground, it's also going to keep the 64 by 64 by 64, but you're only going to fill the bottom.
Okay.
Right? And you can make it quite interesting. Now, I'm not too interested in the character. I think you should focus on the environment first. And then when we do the code, we're going to keep implementing new things, right? For example, fighting and enemies and all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about this. So the rigid body is doing an admirable job of not getting us stuck. But just everything feels clunky. A little bit, which is normal. I mean, we're not going to focus a huge amount of energy in making a great player controller.
Can I try since it's the end?
Yeah. Well, try it from the beginning. There. You spawned here. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
See?
Poor guy, his door is so small.
Yeah, well, he fits. I mean, we may make the guy a little bit smaller, maybe, but yeah.
Guy's going crazy. He's destroying everything. Well, it's not visible, but he is.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay.
Back to the spawn point.
Cool. So that'll do it for today, and we will be back either on Tuesday or perhaps Friday. We're not sure. Well, Friday for sure. Tuesday we're not sure. We may double it up. We'll see. Till next time, YouTube audience. Bye bye.
See ya.